The Phoenix Suns might be heading back into the wilderness for a few years as a result of trading away Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, but any time they can get one over on the Los Angeles Lakers is worth celebrating. They're probably the biggest rival that the Valley has in the league, and it always feels like just when their luck is down in Los Angeles, something goes their way to change that. Landing Luka Doncic at the trade deadline, the most recent example last season, while the Slovenian avoiding a major knee injury while playing for his country recently again felt fortunate in a way that wouldn't have happened to the Suns. Instead, they've got Beal on their books for the next 5 years despite getting rid of him, and a young roster with more questions than answers. Suns have chance to prove Lakers wrong with Mark Williams. About the only thing linking the surging Lakers and faltering Suns right now is center Mark Williams, who Phoenix curiously traded for almost immediately after drafting 18-year-old big man prospect, Kaman Maluak. It was the Lakers who first tried to land the former Charlotte Hornet around the time they swung for Doncic, but the 23-year-old failed a medical and was sent packing. That didn't appear to concern the Suns, however, and they parted with a 2029 first-rounder plus the 19th pick in this year's draft in Liam McNeely in order to acquire him. This is obviously a risk, but it is one that has the potential to pay off massively in the Valley, which in the process would deny the Lakers what could be the final piece of their own puzzle. Williams has never played more than 43 games in a season, but that number was hit last time out. Looking at this optimistically, and perhaps the worst of his injury woes are behind him, even if that is wishful thinking when it comes to discussing centers. Their bodies after breaking down rarely get any better, but there are exceptions to every rule. The Suns won't even need Williams to carry a massive load either, something which would not have been the case in Los Angeles, as they will give Maluak reps early to see if he can be anything. Also worth remembering is Nick Richards, another center from Charlotte who is still on this roster as the third big and could yet have an important role to play if Williams goes down again. The Lakers' failure to take a chance on Williams also led to them picking up former first overall pick in the Valley DeAndre Ayton this summer, which could backfire tremendously. Ayton's time with the Portland Trail Blazers was underwhelming, and you could now make the case if Williams is healthy, he's the better big man to have in your rotation. At least he wants to defend and uses his massive frame to be a deterrent on the defensive end, which has rarely been the case for Ayton outside of that run to the 2021 NBA Finals. Williams is also the perfect lob threat for Devin Booker and Jalen Green, and the same would have been true had he been playing alongside Doncic and LeBron James. So, at a time when the rich got richer in Hollywood, the Suns have a real opportunity to prove that the Lakers' front office blew it in rejecting Williams. If he can play 60 games, average a double-double, and turn the Suns from the fourth worst defensive team in efficiency last season to a league average 1, then this is going to be a home run. Bleacher Report has released every NBA team's Mount Rushmore for the 21st century, and there are a fair few interesting selections in it. The one that stands out the most is the Los Angeles Lakers, as Derek Fisher has made it in over LeBron James. SG Kobe Bryant. C. Shaquille O'Neal. PF Pau Gasol. PG Derek Fisher. Fisher's inclusion here was explained by his being part of the Lakers' title-winning teams in 2001, 2002, 2009, and 2010. He is one of two players to have been part of both of those iterations of a team. Fisher wasn't some passenger on those Lakers teams either, as he hit some huge clutch shots over the years. The one that immediately comes to mind is his game-winning buzzer beater against the San Antonio Spurs in Game 5 of the 2004 Western Conference semifinals with just 0.4 seconds remaining. That said, does Fisher deserve to make it in over James? He played his part extremely well, but averaged 9.0 points, 2.2 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.1 blocks per game for the franchise in the 21st century. James, on the other hand, has averaged 26.6 points, 7.9 rebounds, 8.1 assists, 1.1 steals, and 0.6 blocks per game in his 7 seasons as a Laker. He has made 7 All-Star and 7 All-NBA teams during his time with the franchise and finished runner-up for MVP in 2020. Fisher, meanwhile, didn't make an All-Star or All-NBA team as a Laker. He was undoubtedly a great role player, but that shouldn't get him a spot on Mount Rushmore. James hasn't won 4 titles with the Lakers in the 21st century like Fisher, but he was the driving force behind the 2020 title run. He won Finals MVP and was the best player on that team, something Fisher never was. As for the rest of the selections, there is no debate when it comes to two of them. Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal were obvious picks, as they led the Lakers to titles in 2001 and 2002. They won it all in 2000 as well, but that doesn't come under this century. Bryant would then go on to win 2 more titles in 2009 and 2010 to cement his status as the greatest Laker of the century, if not all time. He won those 2 titles with Pau Gasol as his sidekick, and while the Spaniard is a solid pick, you could argue that Anthony Davis should get the nod here. Davis averaged 24.8 points, 11.0 rebounds, 3.2 assists, 1.2 steals, and 2.2 blocks per game as a Laker. He won a title and made 3 All-Star, 2 All-NBA, and 2 All-Defensive teams in his 6.5 seasons with the franchise. As for Gasol, he put up 17.7 points, 9.9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 0.6 steals, and 1.4 blocks per game as a Laker. He won those 2 titles and made 3 All-Star and 3 All-NBA teams in 6.5 seasons. Davis's peak was better than Gasol's, but he perhaps wasn't quite as consistent. So, there is a case to be made for both men, and you can't really go wrong with either selection. The Los Angeles Lakers have a real shot to bring back Malik Monk, and this time, it could help push them over the top. A potential trade sending Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and a draft pick to the Sacramento Kings for Monk not only reunites the Lakers with a fan favorite, but also opens a roster spot for another possible reunion with Malik Beasley. This would be more than just a nostalgia play. Monk is coming off the best season of his career, averaging 17.2 points per game. Despite that, the Kings could be willing to move him as they reportedly explore ways to create space for a possible run at Russell Westbrook. Monk fits this Lakers team better than ever before. If the reports are true, and that is the direction they go, the Lakers should be waiting by the phone. Monk fits this current Lakers roster better than ever. Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves already handle most of the playmaking. That means Monk can slot in as an instant offense weapon off the bench. Jovan Boha described the possible impact on his podcast Boha's Block, calling him the optimal 6th man, instant offense in 25 to 28 minutes, and he's going to do it relatively efficiently. Let's take a trip down memory lane. Monk thrived in Los Angeles back in 2021 to 22, averaging 13.8 points while shooting just under 40% from beyond the arc. He was able to win over the fan base with his energy and big-time shot-making. Unfortunately, at that time, financial limitations forced the Lakers to let him walk, but the door is now wide open for a reunion at the perfect time. Not only would this help kill 2 birds with 1 stone and help solve an issue that could derail the Lakers' title chances. Making this kind of trade for Monk would also create a roster opening, which could be used to bring back Beasley. Just imagine pairing Monk and Beasley off the bench. It would give the Lakers 2 amazing bench guys who can light it up on any given night and give the team one of the deepest guard rotations in the league. With Doncic locked in on a 3-year, $165 million extension, the Lakers have already secured their future. If they can swing a deal for Monk and find a way to add Beasley, this roster goes from dangerous to downright terrifying. This is the kind of out-of-the-box, high-upside move that could make a real difference in a tight Western Conference. Monk started his personal comeback in the purple and gold a few years ago after leaving the Charlotte Hornets. Now, he might be the piece that helps finish the job.